There's an old expression that goes, "It's lonely at the top." I often wondered where the top was. I mean, is it the top of a mountain? Well, that would make sense. You probably wouldn't find too many people at the top of Mount Everest. Is it the top of a building? Maybe it does get pretty chill at the top of the Empire State Building. How about the big top? You know, with the circus. Well, I would say that could be a pretty lonely place, unless you like to do all those high-flying acrobatics. You have to admit, most of those places I just mentioned really lonely places, but since most of us still live on Mount Everest, or the top of the Empire State Building, or we don't perform in the circus, why is it that so many of us still feel we're lonely? I mean, we live in a world that's inhabited by billions of people, yet I get letters every day that say, "Eric, I am lonely." Now how can that be? When lonely means to be without companions. With so many billions of people living in this world, surely there must be a companion for everyone, don't you think? Well, in my book, loneliness really means a feeling of solitude or aloneness. It doesn't necessarily mean being physically alone. There's an important difference here, because you could be surrounded by people and still feel alone. When people write to me and tell me they're lonely, a lot of them will tell me that they're married or they have a family, but no one understands them. This is what I mean about being lonely, even though you're not alone. You could be married, have children, or have other people living in your house, yet you could still feel like the loneliest person in the world. You can still feel that even though you have friends or people you socialize with, that you're still alone. It just happened. Well, again, it goes back to the feeling that no one understands, or that no one is really listening to you, or lending support when you need it. Think about your other situations. Do you ever feel alone, that your spouse or your family really doesn't understand what you're going through, and therefore they really do care? Well, if I had to bet, I would say that your family does care, but maybe you haven't taken the time to really talk to them and let them know how you're feeling. It's very easy to say, "You need to understand," and maybe it's because you never really told them how you felt. The quickest way to tear down loneliness is to build up our communication. So talk to people carefully. You'll be surprised at just how much they do understand. If you're alone because you don't have many friends, I want you to think about this. Or are you afraid to make friends? Are you afraid to let people in, to form new relationships, or to make the most out of the friendships you already have? We discussed this before, the meaning of true friendships. We also talked about how a true friend will stick by you and give you the love and support you need. Well, that's all great and everything, but first, you have to be willing to let people be your friends. You have to let people into your life and let them get to know you, just as you will get to know them. Now here's some other ways you can kind of use to get a feeling of, to get rid of that loneliness. You can get involved in a project. I know we talked about this when we discussed how to live longer, but believe me, when you get involved with something you love doing, there is no time to feel lonely. Volunteer your time or services at your church or hospital. By helping other people, you will not only be doing them a service, but you can make some new and lasting friendships too. Or there's this one, adopt a pet. If you lost $1 for this, you can go to any SPA or animal care organization and find a pet. It'll be lots of fun to have. No matter what you do to help give her with, I don't ever want you to think food can be your companion. Food cannot love you. Food cannot comfort you or support you when you need it. Remember, loneliness is a feeling, a state of mind. If you take control of your life, as we talked about, if you have enough confidence in yourself to make your decisions and live by them, that you can overcome your feeling of loneliness, no matter what. I think Rogers and Hammerstein said it best in a musical they wrote over 40 years ago called Carousel. They wrote a song that tells a story of self-confidence on holding onto your dreams, even if they're shaken. If you believe in yourself, with hope in your heart, you will never walk alone.